Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I am your host, Steve Ramona. I am so thrilled to have you join us today. This podcast is dedicated to the idea of doing business and living life with a purpose. And what's that purpose? Having a servant's heart, serving people, bringing value to people, because we know you can truly make a difference. The show also was created to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you to make an impact in your world. Now, my guest is, I met her probably a few months ago. We hit it off right away, but she's going to inspire you like there's no tomorrow. She doesn't know this, but I'm going to say it live in a recording. The inspiration she's given me has changed my life, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. But I want you to think about how you're going to serve yourself and others today and what impact you create with that service today. Again, I'm going to circle and talk about that word today. I've had people come to me and go, I heard you say that, and I waited. Well, get started right away. But do me a favor, after this incredible show, I want you to do that. Go serve yourself and serve others today. And if you want to reach back out to me, tell me how it happens, I'd love to hear, because I know good things are going to happen. And today's episode is proudly sponsored by our awesome partner, Pantheon Alliance. Imagine being part of a community of high-income, successful business owners and entrepreneurs from very diverse industries. Together, they're building, imagine this, a thought leader platform to impact and change the world. For more information, reach out to me, and I'll get all that information to you if you want to be part of this wonderful community. With that being said, I love my guests who have the Spirit of God in their soul, not just their heart, but in their soul. They live it, they breathe it, because God is a powerful person. We all know that, but he can intertwine in our lives. And you're going to hear an incredible story from my guest and learn more about what he's done for her. Sharmayne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So excited to be nervous, but excited.
That's a good thing, because that means you're, as I always say in sports, if you don't have a pit in your stomach before the game, you're not into it. So that's what's happening. You've got that pit in your stomach, which is great. Let's start with trauma. Why is that so passionate for you?
Mainly because I grew up in a Christian home, born into a Christian family, and we went to church every Sabbath. And I had my first depressive thought that I remember when I was 6 years old, and I didn't know what it was at that time. And I grew up. My parents, actually shortly after that, my parents split up, and so we moved from one coast of the United States to another without my dad, and that was traumatic for me. I didn't know the word trauma at that time. I didn't know that, but I think it's very passionate for me, because I think we go through a lot of things in our lives, especially as children, a lot of things. And I don't think we stop enough to ask ourselves, how is this impacting this person or me? If you're an adult, or how is this impacting this child? Or how, and when you become older, how is this impacting me? What is this doing to the way that I make decisions in life, and trauma can really do a number on the decisions you make in life and just how you walk in life, how you walk, what you're thinking. You walk in an air of of something different than anybody else because your trauma has impacted your soul. So it's going to impact everything that comes out of you, and which turns into your act.
Yeah. Decision making is a big thing in everything almost in life, business, life, trauma. How
Yeah.
important was the decision making for you?
So from, like I said, from very young age, and I didn't realize it till I got older and I had very close friends started telling me, my decision making was from a place of fear and from a place of, I grew up thinking, this will never happen for me. Why am I even doing it? Kind of thing. In every part of my life. One of my very close friends finally told me when we were adults, we were young, in our 20s, and we had known each other since we were 10. And she finally said once to me, because I was living with her at the time, because I was a nurse at the time. I was a professional, successful person. I went to nursing school. I got good grades, and I was doing life, which is why a lot of people didn't know what I was going through. But my decisions, like, first of all, I love my nursing career, but I became a nurse because I decided not to become what I wanted to become, which was a doctor, because in my head, I heard the voice saying, that will never happen for you. Don't even try it. So I took a route that I thought would happen, and it did. So I'm sorry if I'm getting off, but yeah, I
It's
made
all right. That's all right.
every decision I made was based on fear and the trauma of wondering what's going to happen. Like, it's nothing's going to go right for me. That was in my head. And my friend, getting back to my friend, I did a nursing assignment. I was a travel nurse, and I lived with her and her family for a year. And that's when she really saw, because my my depression it escalated, and it got really bad, and it was starting to get really bad then. And I didn't know at this time, I still didn't know depression like an actual disease, you know, something that needed to be treated. And she kept saying, "You have such a defeatist attitude. When did that happen to you?" Because she had never seen that. And I think I was trying to hide it. But as I became an adult, she saw it, and I took offense to it because I thought I didn't. I felt like I was just being honest. I'm not going to go for that because I honestly believe it's not going to happen. So in my mind, I was being honest. And she was like, "No, you have a very defeatist attitude because you're not even trying." So that was a big turning point for me. I still didn't know what I was going through, but that stayed in my head. That stayed in my head for trying to explain that.
Right. Powerful point you made, fear and settling.
Mm-hmm.
Those two
Mm-hmm.
are so dangerous. And people are doing
Yes,
it every day.
every day.
It's a negative, powerful thing that's happening. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm sure people are listening going, oh my God, it's happened to me. I had fear. I'm like, thank God I started my podcast. I had fear about it, but I just did it. Like you
Mm,
said, just take the step
yeah,
and look
yeah,
what's happened.
yeah.
Talk about mentorship because it's powerful. Your friend that you're living with,
Mm-hmm.
you don't look as a mentor, but in essence, she became your mentor. Talk about that. Not what she did, but
So,
how mentorship helped you.
so it's funny you asked that because there was a time when the Lord was showing me, after I walked away and came back, what I had to be grateful for. And one of them was all the people he did put in my life that literally, and I'm going to say this, kept me alive because I never thought of hurting myself, but I always thought of and even prayed to go to sleep and not wake up. That's how bad it got for me. And when I look back at all the people he put in my life to speak into me without me even realizing, um, I know that was purpose because he was doing a work in me that I didn't even know about. So I take mentorship very seriously. I have a friend who's about 20 years younger than me, probably a little less, a little more than that. And I have, so I don't have any kids and I haven't been married, but I have like 14 nieces and nephews. I just had another one, so I don't know if that's number 14 or 15. I can't, I've lost count. And I have, and I raised one of my nieces. I helped raise her. She lived with me for many years. I have a lot of people that call me Auntie Sharmayne. That's like my go-to name. And at first I took offense to that just because I felt unworthy, because these people actually didn't just call me that. They saw me. One girl, finally, this young lady told me, she's like, "You're such a great mentor." I didn't even know that's what I was doing, but the Lord had to finally tell me, "You need to take this seriously because every word I say and my actions can affect and impact another person." And I have to take that seriously and say, okay, that's when it made me realize I got to start sharing my story and take advantage and take seriously these people that the Lord is not putting in my life to speak into and to mentor, because we are all mentors. It's we're good or bad. People are looking at us because you never know what people are. That's the thing. And you could meet somebody in a fleeting moment, and the things you say to that person could stay with them for a long time. That has happened to me. And yeah, I take it very seriously. I love the word mentor now that I realize what it really is. And I take it very seriously. I try to be a God-fearing one.
Yeah, it's powerful. And that leads to you're becoming a mentor in a business that you're starting. You want to work with faith-based women. Talk about what you're going to do and help them.
So I want to give them what I wanted but didn't realize I needed at a time when I I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint. But I didn't have anybody to go to in church because I was still going to church before I walked away from God. I was still going to church every Sabbath, every Sabbath. And so I want to give them a safe place, first of all, to talk about feelings that they're not understanding. I want to give them direction because I had a great psychiatrist, um, and I want to give them opportunities to hear other women who have the same fears and things, because a lot of times we learn from just because the enemy wants us to think we are the only ones going through what we're going through, right? And so when we feel like we're the only ones, then we're not going to reach out to anybody else because we feel like a weirdo, or we feel like something's wrong with us and that no one is going to want to be with us. Those were all the feelings I had, right? And so I want them to realize you're not alone in this. And then when you hear other people and their struggles and how they cope with them, you learn things too. And you go, oh wow. And then you make connections. I'm all about connection. You make connections and you make a community. You make this community of people that okay, I'm feeling like this, but guess what? I know I can call so and so or text her and say, I'm having a rough time. Can you pray for me? Or and you can have people like sending you these texts and everything and calling you, and it's just uplifting, you know? I want to confound the devil and his hopes by growing a community of women who are armed with the armor of God, and even in their downtime, they know that they can be lifted up, and help lift them.
Yeah, and community's big, and we learned that during COVID.
Yes,
Community was missing,
yes,
and a lot of things
yes,
happened. Of course, deaths, but I've
yes,
talked to people I mentioned on my show before where people didn't go to the grocery store for 3 years.
yes,
3 years.
yes, yeah,
That's not helping them. They have
Yeah.
problems. I'm sure they've, I don't know what their problems are, but that's what I love what you do, because it's just not you, it's the community of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about your rebaptism. What changed in your life?
So I had walked away from God, and because I was actually blaming him for my depression and everything. I blamed him for everything because I was asking him and asking him, take it away, take it away. And when I felt like it wasn't, so I blamed him. So I walked away from him and everything Christianity. And then one day I came back to him, and it really was. It was like I was like, oh God, I love you. And then I just came back and I was like, look, you have one more chance because I can't even live like this anymore. I thought I was going to get better, and I actually got worse. And so he was the only thing I knew because that's how I was raised, right? So, but I didn't go back to him with loving arms. What I did was I came back to him. I said, look, because in my mind, everybody has these um, stories, about being saved and everything. So I'm like, look, okay, you have one more chance. This is what I told him. I actually said this out loud to him. And I had my Bible in my hand and I was holding it up like I'm talking to him, like he's standing right there with me. I'm like, look, you have one more chance. I'm going to open this Bible and I'm going to start reading. And you have to do something. You have to, because I can't live like this anymore. And if you don't, I'm going to walk away and I'll never come back. Okay, so long story short, I opened it. I started reading from Genesis. I just read from Genesis. I ended up reading the whole Bible, but long before, I can't even remember what chapter I was in. But it wasn't, I don't think it was the middle of the Bible even. I just found myself on the floor, face down, giving my whole heart to him. And then soon after that, my home church where I grew up as a little girl, when I first started going with my parents, the first church I remember going to with them, I started going back there, and I just felt impressed to get rebaptized because I was baptized when I was 10. I knew nothing, I was baptized because all my friends in fifth grade were baptized, and they were like, "Why haven't you been baptized?" I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll get baptized." So I just felt like the Lord was like, you need to rededicate. You need to get baptized. So I called my friend who did all the classes, and we did it. And I was nervous. I had the pit in my stomach.
Mm.
But it was the best. I, it was the best experience of my life because I actually did it knowing what I was doing. I had dedicated my life to him, and it was like my wedding, like I was actually showing him and the world, okay, this is real. I'm in it for whatever, ever, because I knew it wasn't going to always be rosy, but I was like, I know where to go now during those hard times. So I had my family was there, and it was just I was crying. I remember because our church was really big and had a big balcony, and my family and friends were in the balcony. And so I'm way down here, and I look up, and I had so many tears I couldn't even see them, and I was thinking to myself, "Are they there? Are they there?" And then in the choir loft, which was right there, a really good friend of the family, she was sitting right there, and she turned and saw me, and she winked at me, and that made me go, okay, if everything, I
Yeah.
was like, everything is okay. We're good. And next thing I knew, I was going down in the water because I caught her wink just before they did it. And that's the Lord knew I needed that because I was looking for my family, and I get teary eyed just even
No,
talking.
it's Charmaine. That's so powerful. And there's another mentor. Sometimes it's just a
Yeah.
wink and somebody's
Yeah,
mentoring you, right?
exactly.
Isn't that
Exactly.
powerful? So
Yes.
cool. Well, we're
Yes.
coming close to the end here. Talk about your podcast. I know you interview some people, but what's it about? What are you trying to do?
So my interviews are with people who have had struggles and have made it through, and it's like their testimony. It's testimony podcast. Right now, I want to actually add some more things to it, like health and everything. But I most of the people some of them were my friends that I've known, I've grown up with, and some of the testimonies I knew about, but one friend, he kind of threw in some stuff I didn't even know about. But it's really like testimonies of people going from walking away from God, or just not believing in him, or um just thinking not great things, and but going through depression or going through things that where they needed him, some trauma or whatever, and then how they came back and what brought them back and how they're doing. And my goal is to inspire people, to let them see everybody has a story. We all have a story, and nobody's story is worse than somebody else's or better than somebody else's. God can help us all. He knows where we are, and he knows where to find us. Yeah.
Comeback story. Love comeback
Yeah.
stories. God does
Yes.
too. He wants
Yes.
them all. We're all comeback stories. It's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
What's the name of the podcast?
So it's deerspeak.com, and I have I have a podcast, and I have so my YouTube is my journey out of depression. And then my podcast is deerspeak.com. And
Okay,
you can
great.
find that on any podcast.
Yeah, so you can search, and I'll have in the show notes audience as well, and you can reach out her channel on YouTube or her podcast and listen to some great testimonies, which I love. Trauma is an important topic, but it's a tough topic, and I'm glad you opened up. So let's have a little fun, because you have a great smile, and I want to make you smile, and I think you will.
Okay.
So this question's super easy. But get to know you a little more. So you've got a reservation at a restaurant, table of 4. You'll occupy one of the chairs. The other 3 chairs, who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would you invite them? And what food would you order?
Ooh, okay. I would invite, if my dad were still alive, of course. My dad, I lost him a few years ago, and I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And my pastor, because he's really cool. I would invite him, and I love picking his brain. And let's see, I have a really good friend who's a psychiatrist, so I would invite him. And I would invite one of my sisters. There were 6 of us. We lost one, but there's 5 of us. So I invite one of my oldest sister.
Yeah, what a family. That's a family affair with the pastor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're hard to have dinner with, because I know my pastor's so busy, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Sharmayne, you're a blessing. I love what you're doing. I love what you're going to do. How can people support you, contact you, and reach out to you?
So support my channels. And I've been away for a little while. There's been some life going on, but I'm going to get back into it. But there's stuff already there. And if they can like and subscribe on YouTube, My Journey Out of Depression. And my I have an email, Sharmayne@deerspeak.com, and you can reach out, and especially if you want to be interviewed. I love interviewing people. I was telling you, I'm camera shy, but I didn't think I would like the interviews as much as I do. But I like to talk to people. I'm a talker. So, and I like to hear what people have to say. I love testimonies. I love them. I've always loved them. I just I never believed that I would be. But now that I am, I love hearing people. So.
And you're blessing so many people with those testimonies. One person hears it, if it changes their life or it helps them move forward, the podcast is a victory. Definitely. Again, thank you so much, Sharmayne. You inspired me. I'm sure some people in the audience are being inspired. Reach out to her, not me. You can find me anywhere. Reach out to her, especially if you have trauma or somebody in your life has trauma. You've got a way to contact her. You can reach out to me or comment on the YouTube where it's coming out, and you want to connect with her, I'll do that as well. Also on the YouTube channel, subscribe. And don't subscribe because I want a bunch of subscribers. I love that because more people get the message. But you can share this with family and friends. You know somebody with trauma? This podcast is a perfect inspiration, motivation for them. And maybe they want to connect to Sharmayne and do some great things with her. Also, too, don't forget, comment on the YouTube channel. I love the critiques for the podcast if you have them. Because again, me and Sharmayne know this is all about the audience. It's not about us. We're here for you in a way we could do and make it better. We're going to do that. And as always, me and Sharmayne, want to thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.